subject I'm going to talk about now is something I have already discussed with our chairman. Since then, I had a message to think of something, quote, outside the box, unquote. In other words, something new, a quantum change in thinking for Brooke Pakistan. Well, here goes. Initially, I'm going to give it on the dictaphone, and later, of course, if interested, I can give all this in writing. This has been brought about partially by the immense wasted knowledge which we have to not throw away, but which we seem to dissipate in Pakistan. We have had a series of very, very good consultants coming out and briefing us, and then going away after a short period. There is so far no formal means of rationalizing this information, keeping it, collating it, refining it, and at the right time and the right place, disseminating it through formal, rational channels, and repeating it again and again and again. The current system is rather like throwing a stone into a pond. It causes ripples, yes, but once the ripples have disappeared, that is the end and the last hurt of the stone until another stone is thrown in. We badly need, in my opinion, a means of rationalizing this information, keeping it, not wasting it. I shall be giving this very broadly in military methodology, because I find that the easiest to follow for obvious reasons. Well, here goes then. If wishes were horses, etc. Mission. Our mission is to set up an institute to serve the working equines and, as such, their owners by finding out their problems, solving their problems, and informing them how to deal with their problems. In other words, setting up what we call for ease at present at least, till we think of a better name, the Brooke Institute of Management for Working Equines. Implications. What are the implications of this? The implications are to have a static setup, large enough to go into the problems in-house, having found out what they are from the people at the grassroots level. To this end, we suggest setting up or buying a suitable tract of land, a well-researched tract of land, probably north of the Ravi, where the land is relatively cheap. Here, we will buy the land, and we will start building necessary structures to set up this institute. This institute, initially, we should start thinking of cells, which can later on be grouped. These cells could be, for example, but by no means exclusively, epidemiology, diseases, wounds, farriery, saddlery, nutrition, and most important of all, in one sense, an organization to contact the owners at the grassroots level to ascertain what their problems are within the bounds of their economic condition, to transfer these problems to our institute and find out how best they can be solved. They must be genuine grassroots problems by talking to owners at the lowest level. Once we have an answer for them, we will then, by means of PR, by means of videos, by means of films maybe, aided by our mobile teams, disseminate them to the owners of the working equines. Now, it is very important, these last two problems, this is why we're setting up the whole thing. However, not in entirely a peripheral effect, but one of the effects of this will be, hopefully, to group these and many other cells under sensible or rational heads of department. For example, the client contact and the PR can be under one department, not necessarily a vet. In fact, probably not a vet. Grouping will be done later. The staff will be decided on later. And most important, the TOD, in other words, the table of organization and equipment, which in future we will call TOD, can be given later. This institution will firstly be for the whole of Pakistan, that is, wherever Brooke has an operation, and also places where they don't have an operation. In other words, we will cater to working equines throughout the country at an optimum cost. Who will come to this? All our present vets, I feel, in turn will benefit from attending classes there. Associate vets, which is a concept we are thinking of introducing very shortly. Veterinarians who've just graduated and who we feel might contribute to Brooke either directly or through their own practices. They can attend government departments if they want to come and attend. Certainly people from other countries, if they feel, and I hope they will, that what we're teaching there is as a result of local conditions in a relatively poor country where poor owners are trying to make a living, and we're trying to teach them how best to treat their equines for various problems. This will be an interesting study, not only for vets, but also for management people. We invite people from abroad, hopefully to benefit from their expertise continually. Nothing ends. It's a continuous process of refinement. And hopefully they might learn from us. Finances. I'm reliably informed that currently finances are not a major problem with Brooke. Anyway, once we set this up gradually, it needn't all be done in one day. We progress it so it's done properly to run it. Whether Brooke chooses to run it from London, meaning remittance of funds, or whether properly invested funds locally might be a better idea. That's entirely up to the Brooke management. That's all I have to say at this time. And we will, of course, as I said before, follow this up. The time frame, I again say, take about 18 months. That is, from the time you say go, it'll take roughly 18 months. And if we count D-Day as the day we open the gates of this institution, the day you say go is D minus 18 months, however number of days that comes to. I shall be delighted. In fact, I will write it out where there'll be many more details given, papers, but at this time, I again reiterate that contrary to advice from some sources, I really honestly feel that a pure concept